Great, great evening to everybody. Welcome to my channel, Underrated Darkness. Yours truly, the number one grinder, one of the best kept secrets on social media, the best of the business. Before we continue, let's get these announcements out the way. Shout out to the Miss, um, to my Underrated One family. Thank y'all for supporting me. Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. Shout out to No Duck Zone family. Shout out to y'all. Keep up the good work. Also, shout out to the mighty LDBC. That stands for Lions Den Boston community, also basketball community. Shout out to y'all. All right. Now, Nick. I'm sorry. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. Um, that was muted and everything and stuff like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. First soldier, check your email. Welcome to my channel, The Underrated Darkness. Yours truly, the number one grinder, one of the best kept secrets on social media, the best of the business. Shout out to my Underrated One family. Let's keep on pushing, do great things, stand on truth. And thank y'all. Shout out to No Duck Zone family. No Duck Zone podcast family. Keep on, keep on doing great things. Also, shout out to the mighty LBC. That's for Lions Den Boston community, also basketball community. Shout out to y'all. As I said, I'm sorry I was muted. I'm sorry. So Supreme Beast, what's good? You want to come up? Talk about what's good? How you feel? That's what Mr. Gumbo, what's good? Go drop the mic. If anybody want to come up, we can talk about the Knicks. Home official. Okay, no problem. Always the next time. But anybody else that wants to come up and talk about this game is really much appreciated. But thanks for hitting the like button and please share this out. Knicks is a game away from eliminating the Celtics. Again, we saddened about. If y'all can hear me, press 1. If y'all can hear me, press 1. Sadly that Jason Tatum got hurt, and sad about that. But hear me, press 1. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. You want to come up? Come up. Okay. Anybody want to come up? Because I'm taking a chance here. Usually I send it send it through email, other people's social media. But I'm taking a chance. Okay, well I got the link right here. You come up here. Okay, cool. Boom. Much blessings to you and your family, brother Auntie.
What's going on, big dog? Make sure I got audio. Yeah, I should be good. Um, yeah, bro. I'm. I was about to rant this morning. I was a little bit busy working. I don't appreciate them trying to taint the Knicks' shine right now. All right.
I
I
can't
don't
hear you.
make this about a Jason Tatum injury. And of course, we don't ever like seeing guys get injured. You know, we don't
Yeah.
ever like seeing that. But at the same time, stop. Don't come up on Tuesday morning talking like this team wasn't already beat. They
Right.
didn't already blow a 16-point lead. They hadn't already turned a 16-point lead into a about to be 9-point deficit with 3 minutes
Mm-hmm.
left in the game before this man got hurt. Like before he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And already down 2-1, about to go down 3-1. That was about to happen before he got hurt.
Yep.
All right. The Knicks had their largest lead of the series before he got hurt, and OG had the breakaway. So I just don't appreciate the media. I got to give a shout out to some people I usually don't like they takes, but they making sure that they even say that this morning. Dudes like Nick Wright, of course, Kendrick Perkins, they made sure they came up and just said like, and of course all the New York stations, it's like, bro, stop making it seem like the Knicks didn't already beat these dudes. Like I'm not saying that we already beat them because you still got to win 4 games,
Right.
but bro, these dudes were beat. They're beat.
Yeah. And even on Tatum on court.
You know,
So yeah, I don't
they
like
were gonna
that.
need a historic comeback. They were gonna have to come back down from down 3-1. Let's just keep it real.
Right.
I know Nick Wright said it. Um, I just don't like them trying to make that up. I mean, their bodies gave out. Like that's what happens. I don't want to see the injury with Tatum and all, but that happens in sports. Your body gave out.
Yeah.
That's it. You know. Sometimes sometimes it happens in the finals at the last second. You will through it, or you get hit by the injury bug, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, y'all was already beat. You blew 2 20-point leads at home. Um, Lost in the fourth quarters of games at home with this dude perfectly healthy, and he had 42 last night and was still down 7. Really only should have had 39 because he double dribbled on the damn 3-point play. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
really only should have had 39, but I guess refs don't know what a double dribble is anymore. You know? So that's my take on it though. So the Knicks haven't been in this position. Um, Believe it or not. All right. So check this out, JT. The Knicks
Mm-hmm.
have not people are like the Knicks haven't been in this position since 2000. I'll go a step further. This particular position, all right, and this is provided that Indiana doesn't blow theirs. Provided Indiana
Right.
doesn't blow theirs. The Knicks have not been in this position since 1993
Three. Right.
when they were where they were in a situation where all they had to do was not lose at home, and they're in the NBA finals.
Yep.
That's it. Don't lose another home game and you're in the NBA finals.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I've been hearing all this junk going on. What happened this morning? They make excuses, and I'm like, what is y'all doing? I mean, like, really, like, what's the point? Yeah, we get it. He got hurt. He got hurt. Yeah, but you diminishing what the Knicks
Yeah,
had done last
yeah,
time.
they doing it. They're gonna try to taint it, and I'm like, bro, y'all too little, too late. You could have said that maybe in a game 3,
Right.
maybe in a game 2,
Two.
maybe if he would have went down when the Celtics were up by 10 or 12 or whatever, maybe there. But nah, bro, the lead was already gone. The lead was already gone. Let's keep it real. He was gonna have to drop 50 to win that.
Yeah.
42 wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough. And at the same time, the Knicks were scoring too. and they was getting they was getting they was getting like at that time they was getting stops.
Like
So
I
it
said,
was
it was
so
just
what was
like game.
being
It was just like game one and game two. Again, it's just this time they did it in the whole second half, or they did
mm-hmm.
this time instead of the fourth quarter, they did it in the third quarter, and they just beat them. And they beat them wire to wire in this fourth quarter. Just to be
Yep.
real, that's
Yep.
something that you hadn't seen. Like you hadn't seen the Knicks be able to. They beat them wire to wire. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. I'm done talking about what the Celtics did wrong. We could talk about that in game one and game two. I don't want to hear about it for this past game because this time they were up again by damn near 20. It just wasn't in the second half. It was in the first, and they blew that. They blew that. So
Right.
now it's not an anomaly no more. It's not. That's consistent damn pattern. You know? That is what it is. I don't want to hear, oh, well, if they just made more shots. Ain't none of that. Y'all just saw that last night. They made a bunch of shots and they still lost. Made a lot
Yep.
of shots, you know? So keep it real. Now, don't get me wrong. If I was a Celtics fans, I would break it down. And after the season, I probably will. I don't know if Mace is gonna come up. I saw the message in the chat with Mace. I would love to chop it up with Mace, but I was like, their issue wasn't missing shots. I'm like, that's how you built a 20-point lead off of making shots. So that's you
Yep.
shouldn't have to score anymore after you're up 20. Well, you shouldn't even have to do that. So what you should have to do is you're gonna have to get back in transition and you're gonna have to guard the basket. Like that's simple. You're gonna have to guard the basket and you're gonna have to play some transition defense and get some rebounding. Rebounding kind of starts. I'm sorry, transition defense. You know, rebounding that like it starts and ends with rebounding. So like you got to be able to do all of that. The defense, the offensive glass, the defensive glass, you got to be able to do all of that. That's why the Celtics broke down. That's it. It wasn't just that they was missing shots; they wasn't coming back in transition, and they weren't able to stop the Knicks. And also, it's not just that they were missing shots; they had hands in their faces. Guys are rotating. It's just a little bit harder. That's why percentages go down. You get worn down after a while. You don't make them forever. You know? So give the Knicks credit for holding it down. I don't appreciate the media trying to take shine away from the Knicks. Even if by some, I'm not gonna say miracle because we've seen teams come back from 3-1 before. It can happen. But if they do lose or whatever, even if they come back, they had these boys down 3 games to 1 before Jason Tatum looks like he popped his Achilles. It looks like it. But I don't know if the results for the MRI came out yet, but that's kind of what it looked like. Looked pretty Kobe, Dame Lillard esque, you know, um, Isaiah Thomas esque, just push off. Push off the toe, off the toe, boom. It just gave out. But that, like I said, that's what's gonna happen. People's bodies give out after a while.
Sorry about that. Went out on me.
That's all good.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. I'm like, so what? His body gave out. He couldn't handle the. You know what I'm saying? His body couldn't handle the pressure. Even if his mind could, his body couldn't handle it. It happens, bro. I remember it happened to the New York Knicks last year. Their bodies gave out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of bodies gave out.
Yeah.
So as far as the Knicks are concerned, they felt like they could have beat them last year, but they didn't get the chance to get there because they went 7 games with the Pacers. So we got some get back to get on the Pacers, but first we got to finish up the Celtics. I'm not even gonna talk like the Celtics are done because they're not.
Right.
I this is just a horrible excuse for this team, JT.
Mm-hmm.
The Celtics, that is. This is a horrible excuse. The Tatum's down. I don't want to hear that. You're talking about a team without Jason Tatum on it, without Jason Tatum on it, would still have 4 dudes that are multiple time All Stars.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Yeah, right here.
All right, yeah. You got four dudes that are multiple time All Stars without Jason Tatum. He would be the fifth,
Mm-hmm.
but since he's hurt, whatever. You got four dudes that have made multiple All Star teams. All right. You have a reigning Olympian, gold medalist Olympian, along with those four multiple time All Stars and a reigning six man. You have the best player coming off the bench this year in the NBA without Jason Tatum. All right.
And also, when Tatum was in the Olympics, he hardly
Yeah,
got no
and so was
minutes.
Derek White, and so was Drew Holiday. That's what I'm talking about. Derek White is the one that never made an
Mm-hmm.
All Star team, but still went to the damn Olympics and got a gold medal. Okay, you got four dudes, multiple time All Stars: Porzingis, Horford, Drew Holiday, and Jalen Brown, multiple time All Stars. Right? You
Yep.
got this dude Peyton Pritchard, reigning six man of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Miss me with it. Miss me with it.
Right.
Miss me with it. That's still a tough. That's still supposed to be a pretty damn formidable team with no Jason Tatum. But I don't care what
Right.
anybody says. The Knicks had them down 3-1 with Jason Tatum. They were 3 minutes away from being up 3-1 with Jason Tatum.
Right.
You know, they beat those dudes. So I'm like, oh well, yo, this is just bad that Jason Tatum's out. So what? So what?
Yeah, he said the same thing. The Knicks was in was that when they had
Yeah, I
some
can say
play
that
injured when they
about the
play Indiana.
Warriors when the Warriors don't have Steph. Okay?
Yeah.
Jason Tatum is not to the Celtics what Steph Curry is to the Warriors or what Giannis is to the Bucks or you know or what Jalen Brunson is to the Knicks. Like he's not all. I'm not saying he's not a great player. I'm not even saying he can't be a number one dude, but bro, that's a pretty stacked team.
Mm-hmm.
So don't make it seem like whatever. I hope they do pack it in tomorrow night. I hope they do just go fishing. Just start packing your rods. Um, yeah, just start packing your rods. Load up the boat. Fill up the cooler. Go fishing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah, I don't want to play no more. That's what I'm saying. Celtics, they don't want to play no more.
they should don't. They don't want to play.
They
They
don't play
I
no
mean, it's
more.
like they don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, they
They
go.
will learn
Oh.
to not play with their food ever since Miami came back on them, down 3-0.
Mhm.
Okay, had them down 3-0. Nah, they caught a little fool's gold. Thought they did something by pushing it to 7 and still losing. Come on, you know, paper champions, dude. Paper
Yeah.
champions.
Yeah, but
Mm.
yeah, when I was setting this up, right, like a few hours ago, when people saying they instead of give the Knicks credit, they still talking about Tatum. They still talking about the Celtics. They defending champions. I mean, like really, like, and then when somebody talk about the Knicks, it's oh Tatum. Not like players get hurt. That's part of the business.
He was beat already.
Right, right,
Like we beat them already.
right.
Like I get it if the game was tied up, it was close. Y'all was within one possession, maybe even 3-4 points. We was already up 7, about to go up 9. That ball was turned over. That ball was turned over, man. So that's a wrap. We were already up 7 with 3 minutes left in the game. It was done. They were over. They were beat
Right.
already. I'm saying I get it. The series ain't closed, but if you telling me that Jason Tatum is the difference between you coming back from down 3-1 and not, it's only been like 5 teams come back from 3-1 ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5, 6 teams.
To me, I agree with it and everything,
And I'm
but
just saying they can still do it. They still got a chance to do it. They down 3-1 now. But my point is this: as far as to go up 3, that game was over. That team is down 3-1, whether Jason Tatum pops his Achilles or not. So I want to know why people BSing like that's not the case.
right.
You know?
But you know, part of the title on the way to Boston tomorrow night. I'm looking for the Knicks closing them out. Like you said, it's inefficient. I'm just Pat. But you know what? I feel like this after first quarter. That's right. Yeah, pack your bags. That's what I want to see. That's what
Yeah, that's
that.
probably not gonna happen. There should be some kind of some level of Celtic pride. Um, if not from them, definitely from their fans. Their fans aren't gonna allow that to just go down like that. So I mean, it would be nice, but the Knicks usually don't win like that in blowout fashion. So, and
I
I'm
said
just
that's what I want to see. I don't.
yeah, I mean, we would all like to see that. Let's go home early. The thing is, you don't even want to push this to 6 or 7 games. You don't want to play with your food.
Mhm.
You don't know what's going to happen with Indiana and Cleveland. I don't know what's up. I think Donovan Mitchell will probably play. They said re-aggravated injury, but I think that he'll probably. Usually when they
He
say
gonna
that,
play.
yeah, he's gonna play.
He gonna
But
play.
they're down. Cleveland's down 3-1. So you don't know. Indiana can end it, or they can end up in a long series. Somebody can end up down over there. You don't know. Somebody else can end up down on our end. You go in the next
Yup.
game. That's all it takes is one extra game. Um, we got a scare with OG and his hammy
Yup.
yesterday, which happened like literally at the same time last year in like game 2 or game 3 last year against the Pacers in the second round. So we got to get some get back on the Pacers. We'd like to get back on the Pacers. Of course, the Pacers are a better matchup for us. And most important, we have home court advantage against the Pacers. Gilbert
Yup.
Arenas actually made a good point on his podcast today, which is what Stephon Marbury was saying. And I believe it's the same thing I was saying on your show the other day. Damn it, if you ain't a Knicks fan, don't come to Madison Square Garden. Stop leaving all the Knicks fans to watch the game outside or charging them $800 for a ticket
Yup.
and letting these damn celebrities come in here. Because Gilbert Arenas said it on his show today. He was like, the Garden, even though it's a lot of energy in the Garden and they love when the Knicks are winning, they love basketball. So a lot of the times that crowd can work against the Knicks. And that's not supposed to happen. You ain't supposed to cheer for the other team. I don't give a damn how good they're playing.
Yup.
Not now.
No.
Not now. You want to do that when Steph went off for 54 or something like that back in the day in the regular season? Cool. You don't do that crap in the playoffs. You talking about
Playoffs, right?
for a
No, you
title.
don't.
Like for real, that there should be a fight in the stands when people do that. It should be a damn fight in the stand. Don't allow that. It should be so much orange and blue in that bitch that you can't. If anything, make them make you go silent. But under no circumstances do you cheer against your city.
And I see like quite a few people. They said they Nick fan like Nori. You a
I don't
Nick
mind
fan?
an ovation or a clap or something after you get beat, but during the game, ain't none of that, man. I heard that. I see the celebs. I see Tracy Morgan and Fat Joe. The Knicks go down a certain amount or whatever, and I get it. Thibodeau even said it too. Like, yo, the crowd is rough here. You know what I'm saying? It's tough when we're winning, but at the same time, we got to give them something to play. We got to give them something to cheer for. You know, with it's a shame when even the coach and the players know that. Like, damn, our crowd will cheer for the other team if we ain't doing it. Like, our crowd will turn against us. That shouldn't be
Yes.
like that. I remember
No.
Dr. J used to say that. He said, like, I used to love when we used to steal the other team, going into another building and stealing the opposing team's crowd. Dr. Dre used to say that. He was like, because first you silence them, then you get them cheering for you. You know, because they want. And I'm like, nah, bro, shouldn't do that. That's like real shit. That's like Miami Heat type shit. And I know that just from being down here and going to so many games. I've seen their crowd get stolen to the point where they have to start pumping out crowd. They have to start pumping noise out of the speakers. You know, that's what people don't understand. in Miami, that whole "Let's go Heat," that's coming out the speakers, man. The crowd starts chanting it, but it comes out the speakers first. Literally like an applause sign. You know what I'm saying? For real. Because their fans are fair weather as hell. And they know
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I see some fans. I said, where they come from?
No, I mean, when they play the Knicks, there's more Knicks fans in there. There's more Knicks fans. You know? Because it's cool. Like when I go to games, I go with my son or whatever, and he's born and raised down here. So he's, he's going to wear his Heat gear. And I'm going to wear my Knicks gear. So we go in there together. It's just pretty funny. But whatever, you know, whatever. But you see, it feels like another home game. And it's a shame that the Knicks feel more at home on the road than they do at home.
Home. That's messed up. It is.
You know? And that's why I said, man, let the real fans in the building. Drop the prices on some of them damn tickets, man. For real. Let the real fans in the building stop it. You know, I get it. It'll probably be all for the Knicks if the Knicks can get to like on the hill in the finals. It'll be just like it was for the Chicks because they wasn't showing them Chicks no support over in Barclay up until they got up to Game 5 in the damn WNBA finals. Then everybody showed up. We gotta stop that shit, man.
They do gotta stop that. So like on Game 5 be tomorrow night at Boston. I forgot what time it starts. I'm looking for the Knicks to close it out.
I mean, prepare to be annoyed. This is one of the toughest things to do in any sport, but especially basketball, and that's close out a team. You know, especially because it's a team where players are it's up, it's down. Players play defense and they play offense too. It's just tough. Teams are going to get their final win, their second win, and that's why I mean it's still a formidable team even without.
Right, it is.
You know what I'm saying? Even without Jason Tatum, you still have 4 guys that have made multiple All-Star teams. In there, and you got the reigning 6th man of the year, and an Olympic gold medalist that is also really good. In Derek White. So I don't, I don't see why Boston would just give up. I don't see why they would just give up. So expect a fight. Definitely expect a fight, and hopefully the Knicks could just finish it in 5.
Yeah, I just want the Knicks to come. Had the lead at the third quarter, had the lead, and just keep on playing. That's what I want to see.
You just grind it out. You get through them 48 minutes. You have more points when the clock hits 0. I don't care if it's a spectacular finish. I don't care if they win by 40. Just win.
Yeah.
Just win, and preferably in 5. I don't care that if the goal is to win, you prefer to do it in 5 than have to do it in 7.
True.
And I do personally believe that's one of the reasons. I mean, I just think it's deeper than just he popped his Achilles, bro. The dude's body gave out. Like that's what happened. His body gave out, and that tends to happen when you feel like you can't win. I'm just being real, man. That tends to happen. You gave up, like your body, and when you wouldn't do it, your body did it for you. That's OG was quicker to that damn ball.
Yeah.
Just a little bit lazier. You're doing everything that you can do. You got 42. They ain't calling double dribbles, and you still down 7.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good time to get hurt. That's what his body said. It was a good time to just, hey, I don't want to play no more.
Nah, just for me, it's like, come on, y'all.
But don't take our shit.
James Bronson played well.
But unfortunately, I gotta say it, man. The more the Knicks win, the more the pressure is on Tom Thibodeau to win this championship.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me that earlier today. Do I still think they'll fire Tibbs if the Knicks go to the finals? And I say, yeah. If the Knicks go to the finals and they do not win a championship, Tibbs is getting fired in the offseason. Like, even if they make it to the NBA finals, he will be fired. You know? So, and it's just kind of like just business. Um, there's not like there's not much that they can do. If you have a team that's good enough to make it to the NBA finals, you don't want to change it up too much, like trading half the damn team away to get Durant or to get Giannis or something like that. You're not gonna do that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then even if you were to go all in on those guys, you wouldn't necessarily want Tom Thibodeau coaching them because the whole identity of the team is going to change. It's going to be different. So there's only one other option. You know, you're probably going to keep the team together if the team proves that they can make it to the finals, but you're going to have to get the coach that can actually get you over the hump. You know, because it's like they say, some coaches get you good, other coaches get you great. You know, and Thibodeau would clearly be the coach that got you good, got you guys playing on the defensive end, all of that stuff. But they need that a new coach, and that's mainly because their hands are tied in the personnel department when it comes to players. They have no more picks to trade away. All they have is guys on the roster. They really don't have any size to throw in a package or any of that. So if they have to give up size to get one of those guys that are sick on the wing, you know, like a Durant or a Giannis or something like
It's harder today.
that.
This thing acting
Yeah.
it's harder today.
But yeah, then they wouldn't have any size if they were to do that. So they're likely not even gonna, they're probably going to stand pat with the roster, you know, this year. The Knicks likely will do that. Um, so that the only thing I can see that the only change that they're going to make is to get rid of the coach. And that's if he wins, if he doesn't win a championship, if he does anything short of bringing home Larry O'Brien, Thibodeau will be fired.
Yeah. I believe that. Yeah, I believe that too. Yeah. A lot of people don't think he's not in the hot seat. Oh, yes, he is. He's in
Well,
the hot
keep in
seat.
mind, like even when the Nuggets fired Mike Malone, people are like, damn, well, he just won the championship 2 years ago. I'm like, I heard through the grapevine, had he not won the championship 2 years ago, he would have been fired 2 years ago. That's what they said. They said they was gonna fire him, and the championship they didn't do nothing but buy him like an extra 2 years. Thing when you saw what the Lakers, they fired Vogel like 1 year after winning the title.
Yeah.
1 year later, Budenholzer got fired. What, 2 years after winning the damn title?
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a damn. So they'll move on. We learned that in the NBA a long time ago, man. You know, you can replace coaches easier than you can replace players.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
That is very true. So,
that's
but well, yeah, it's for me. It's just you know, I can't even say. I mean, I could say, but you know, the media just y'all no good. Y'all no good. Y'all don't get no credit. No, no,
well, I mean,
no.
deep down, a lot of them want to throw shade at the Knicks. They want to throw some kind of shade on the Knicks' improbable win. They're gonna make it seem like we didn't win. We didn't already win the first two games in Beantown on the parquet. They're gonna make it seem like we weren't already ahead in 3 3/4 of a quarter.
Right.
We weren't when he got hurt. You know that we didn't already come like we just like what the hell is the difference between turning a 16-point lead into a 20 I'm sorry, into a 7-point deficit? What's the difference between that and the Knicks coming back from 20 down in
Mm-hmm.
2 consecutive games? It's the same thing. They did it again. That's not luck. You won 3 out of 4 games in the series just like that with 20 something point turnarounds, 23-point turnarounds,
Mm-hmm.
23-point, second half turnarounds. So come on. At some point, man, you gotta like how many lucky shots did Steph Curry throw up before we realized them shots ain't lucky, man? How many of us just had to go in before we just realized this motherfucker ain't lucky? This is just the best shooter ever.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't that damn. Nobody's that lucky. This old bitch could just shoot.
Yeah.
You know. So at some point, man, give our boys their due. You know, you can only get lucky but so much before you just gotta say, man, these boys are pretty good.
Yeah. I can't believe that OG scored 20 some points. I mean, what are you talking about? That's not the first time he scored with 20. What are you talking about?
No, man, they had a real balanced scoring output. Brooks,
Yeah.
he missed a free throw, a couple free throws he missed late, but he missed a free throw that would have gave him the even 40. I wanted to at least see him get the 40 piece, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? He had double figures. I think Josh Hart had double figures. Of course, Mikal Bridges, put the baby to sleep. OG, did his thing. Knocked down some open jumpers. Um, Carl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
Definitely need to quit crying, but he was a lot more physical, and I didn't see him looking for that damn jump shot as much, which was
Yeah.
another thing to help them to grind back. Just be more physical because I get it. You don't like being all physical like that, but you kind of all we got. You
Right.
and Mitchell Robinson are all we got, and Mitchell Robinson can't shoot free throws. So,
Right.
we need somebody that can knock down some free throws to be banging in the paint too. You know,
Yeah.
other than that, we don't have nobody else.
Right. So shout out to C Digley. Shout out to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
And
So,
yeah,
I mean, you see it, for the most part, Knicks fans ain't really getting too high up on it. It's everybody else, the media pundits that are talking about the NBA Finals. I think we could smell it once we were up 2-zip. Yep,
mhm.
we could smell it. When we were up 2-zip, Indiana was up 2-zip. We don't just want to go to the finals. We'd like to knock off Indiana on the way there. You know,
Mhm.
just because of what happened last year, and that gives us the home court advantage. You know, but whatever. You
Yeah.
know, of course, the Warriors are always a tough matchup. But if the Warriors were to somehow come out the West, which is highly unlikely, you wouldn't mind that. Then, if the Knicks were to go to the finals, Minnesota would probably be the next matchup that you would prefer to have.
Prefer to have right.
And then one of those other teams, I don't think you really want to deal with. If you can avoid, you hoping one of them other teams get knocked off in the conference finals. As far as Denver and OKC are concerned, they're
Yeah.
they're gonna be they're gonna be tough. Luckily, only one of them is gonna come out of this series they in now. So, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you
Who
know,
you think gonna come out the West? You think?
I don't know. I mean, I
I
think
mean,
it's
who gonna be
looking
going to the
bad for
Western
the
Finals? I
Warriors.
mean,
I'm sorry.
going to the Western Finals. You think?
Well, I think it's looking bad for the Warriors now, of course, because they're down 3-zip and Steph is hurt.
Yeah.
So he may not come back in the series. Um, so they really can't win without him. Not against this Minnesota team. They're too good defensively. The reason why I say we can play with them is because we're kind of built the same way. Like we're literally built the same way, which is why
Yeah.
they were able to do that, Cat for Randall and DiVincenzo deal, because it just fits so easily, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of built the same way and they have their identity and stuff like that. So, but the Warriors, I don't think can beat them. They're just too good of a defensive team. If they build any type of lead, like being down 5 points against Minnesota when you don't have Steph Curry and you're the Warriors is like being down 15 points, or it's like being down 10 points. It's just really tough to score on them. They're real long, and they have rim protection. You can't get to the rim, you know.
Yeah.
Especially like Draymond Green. Draymond Green done ran into and he kind of did that in this series and the last series, but
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen, as you get deep in the playoffs. But he ran into one of those dudes that he can't punk, and that's Julius Randle. Like you can't punk this powerful. Like he's used to running into these weak stretch fours, you know, these power forwards that are out there to stretch the floor. He's used to running into them, so he can just punk them like he did Domantas Sabonis and you know other dudes that'll stray away and shy away from contact. Um,
Yeah.
is it that wasn't going to work against Randall? Of course, it didn't work against Dylan Brooks. It's not going to work if they got to deal with Aaron Gordon. You know, I'm sure he'll try it if they would ended up dealing with Chet Holmgren or something like that. But for the most part, it doesn't look like they'll advance. So as far as who comes out of the West, right now, I don't know because I don't know what's going to happen with Denver and um and OKC. But I think most of us would want to believe that the winner of Denver versus OKC will probably come out the West.
Yeah. I still say yeah.
It's just Denver's got some questions because of their bench.
Yeah.
They're missing a bench and they're missing a coach. Like let's keep it real, they don't have a coach. They have Nikola Jokic doing all that shit. They have him starting. They have him coming off the bench. They have him coaching. They have him doing everything. You know, spreading the floor, handling the ball, rebounding. Scoring. Low post, outside, everything. He's got to do it all. You know, all of that shit. Playing the passing lanes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Denver do have some holes though. They really do. But they need to figure it out. They do. I agree with that.
Well, I mean, the fact that they've gotten this far and they're not looking like they're in bad shape is
Yeah.
pretty cool. You know, I mean, it's just pretty cool because, like I said, there are some coaching questions, um, and there's bench questions. This is not the
Yeah.
same Denver team that won a championship. Yeah, they have the same core together, but they don't have like Contavious Caldwell Pope. They don't have Bruce Brown. They don't have hold on, who was the other dude they had? Jeff Green. They don't have Jeff Green. Um, yeah, but then they have the same core. They still got Christian Brown. They still have, of course, Aaron Gordon. They still got Jamal Murray. They still got Michael Porter Jr. and the Joker. And they've also got Russell Westbrook now. It's just one Russell Westbrook doesn't equal a Bruce Brown, a Jeff Green, and a Contavious Caldwell Pope.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what it is. That's why Denver is having to fight like they're having to fight to get through stuff. And it seemed like they just ran through everybody in 2023. That's really the difference.
Yeah.
Is the difference between running 7 deep and running like 9 or 10 deep.
Big difference, y'all.
Yeah. Coach
And
has
that's
more
what
weapons,
sometimes I have a problem
and
with the Knicks
especially
for.
when you're dealing with a dude like Joker, you just got more options. You just got more options. You know what I'm saying? You spreading the floor. Certain guys are cutting. Guys are, some guys are able to ISO, and you lose track of Jamal Murray, and I mean it's just a lot of trickery right now. Everything's limited, so you kind of know where the ball is going. You know, and they're limited defensively too. Denver, that is. So that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons why you see Aaron Gordon having to do so much stuff all of a sudden. And shout out to him for rising to the occasion. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He's clearly shooting more. You know what I'm saying? He's shooting more. He's always been a monster on the boards, but you know what I'm saying? He's shooting the mid range. He's shooting the corner. He's shooting, you know what I'm saying? He's pulling up from three. You know what I'm saying? He's just doing a lot more stuff.
Create his own shot.
And of course,
You
yeah,
have doing some nice passes and stuff.
he's guarding dudes on the
Okay.
perimeter. You know, like he's doing a lot. So, you know, shout out to Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray for even hanging in there because I don't know what the hell is going to happen with their series, bro. One night OKC blow them out by 40, 40, 45. The next night Denver beats them. I don't know. And then the night after that OKC beats them. Like, what the hell, bro? You just never know.
Yeah. Well, want to see if Indiana going to close out on Cleveland.
I mean, it depends. It depends. If I'm Cleveland, I just sit Mitchell down. Depending on what the issue is with his ankle, I would just sit him if it's a chance that he can break it or any of that. Fuck it, just sit him. Just sit him.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, but there are some people still
Because
think
I mean,
that.
because the thing is, what the hell is the purpose? Because you're gonna have to go set. You're gonna have to play a 7-game series, and then you got to end up playing the winner of the Knicks Celtics. Like you got hurt too damn early. That's it. If it's on the verge of being broken, just sit him. It don't even make no sense. There's a
Right.
difference between just a little bit of off season rehab, non-surgical rehab, and then a motherfucker having to get surgery. Shit like that.
But there are people in the media who keep on thinking that Cleveland is going to come back to beat Indiana.
No,
But
no.
yeah, we know
Um,
that.
I mean, it really just depends on how fast Indiana can knock them off. You know, that's the way I see it. They're not gonna come back and beat them, not with Donovan Mitchell with a bum ankle.
And they not really talking about that injury. But
Well, I
they
mean,
talking
let's
about
let's pay attention. Okay, so this is Cleveland's issue. When their back ends up against the wall, they go to Donovan Mitchell hero ball.
yeah,
The ball ain't moving, and they're the ball only moves and they play well as a team when they're playing from ahead. But when you put that pressure on them, they don't have faith in each other, and that's obvious.
yeah.
So, they're gonna have to get over that arc. So we'll see. That's just my opinion, just watching them play. You know, they'll go to some kind of hero ball, just like if Donovan Mitchell ain't there, they'll try to go to Darius Garland, who's already got a bum toe. That's what I'm saying, man. That was a
Yeah.
waste. Donovan Mitchell to go ham and beat itself up all year, to win 60 plus damn games just to get knocked out in the second round. Should have took a page out of them boys out west playbook. Because them boys out west didn't give a damn what seeding they got as long as it wasn't 7 or 8. And people were cool with getting 7.
Hmm?
People didn't give it. You know what I'm saying? Them teams, 4 through 6 did not give, or 4 through 8 didn't give a damn. It was just get in because they all felt like they can beat anybody. Just get in. Don't be 9, 10. Don't be 8, 9, or 10. If you are gonna be 7, 8, 9, or 10, try to be 7. Because you got a suspect number 2 seed in Houston. That was like the word on the street ever since the All-Star break.
The boys, yeah.
Every one of those teams, I'm talking about the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Warriors, and the Grizzlies were like they felt like they could beat both the 2 and the 3 seeds out west. They all felt like they could. They all felt like the Lakers and the Rockets were sus. So they didn't care if they had home court. That's why you saw dudes load manage. You saw teams load manage and all that crap. They give a damn. Just get in. You saw Denver didn't care. They fired their coach a week before the playoffs.
Yep, sure did. Right. Welcome to Tabin.
Memphis knew what was up too. They were like, "Yo, we ain't going far, so we don't even care. Like, we don't give a damn if we make it or not."
Yeah.
And then you see what the hell Dallas, like, this is stupid. I know they had some more takes talking about they don't believe that the lottery was rigged. Hell yeah, the lottery is rigged. I want to know how every time a team does the Lakers a solid, or a team has to deal with the departure of LeBron James, is that whenever it revolves around the Lakers or LeBron James, the other team involved ends up getting a number 1 pick. Why is that? All right. In my lifetime, I done seen 2 teams get the number 1 pick just for sending LeBron James some help. All right. We saw New Orleans, you know what I'm saying, get the number 1 pick with Zion because they traded Anthony Davis over to LA for like 5 food stamp cards. Okay? Remember when LeBron went back to Cleveland? All of a sudden, yeah, you know what I'm saying, Minnesota ends up with the number 1 pick that hasn't even played an NBA game yet to send Kevin Love over to LeBron. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that the NBA could dodge being sued by the owners in the end, because the owners are still in charge, so that the NBA could avoid being sued by the owners in the NBA, because there are more small market teams than big market teams in the NBA, so that they can avoid from being sued because of the collusion that they facilitated in the Olympics in 2008, that they started and all the tampering. All right, they gave Dan Gilbert the number 1 pick in Cleveland 3 out of 4 years after having to deal with the departure of LeBron James. Remember that?
Yeah. Sure did, yup.
And I'll go a step further. Remember when the New Orleans tried to trade Chris Paul?
Yep.
Or was about to trade Chris Paul to the Lakers? They said, y'all got to send him to the Clippers. This ain't fair.
Yeah.
Because they knew damn well LeBron James would have never got any rings. Had that trade went through, LeBron James might have never got a ring.
Wow.
But either way, what did New Orleans get for that? They got the number 1 pick in the draft, Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
That happened to be Anthony Davis. So now you see how the hell you just trade Luka Doncic to the Lakers. You just say they just traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers. and then they end up with
Why?
damn Cooper Flag, because that's who they gonna end up with. I don't want to hear nothing about them trading the pick. They ain't gonna do this again. They're not gonna do this again. You're not gonna trade Luka Doncic and Cooper Flag in 6 months,
To have a kid.
huh?
To have a kid. Click. Get them to have the kids.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the one like this team was a game away from making the playoffs, and they just got the number one pick. Isn't that stupid? Like that's dumb.
Oh.
That's dumb. Like you never know. Nico Harrison might do some dumb shit, like trade it for Kevin Durant or something.
Mm-hmm.
He might do some stupid shit like that. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen because remember, I always tell him, bro, it's the name on the front of the. It's supposed to be the name on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back. That's in charge. Okay.
Yeah.
So keep in mind the NBA logo is on the back of jerseys now. They got Nike logo on the front. That's who's in charge.
Yeah.
So make no mistake about it. Yo, Nico Harrison is a Nike dude. Um, you know, Rob Pelinka, all them people out with the Lakers, all of that. You know, they Nike people. Nike is in charge of the NBA. So they want their stars where they want their stars. I get it. You know, and remember, I believe Kyrie Irving is still a Nike product.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty clear what it is, man. You know, Nike made a move. So
Yeah.
I just think Nico Harrison would be stupid to trade this pick.
Mm.
You play the kid for one season and see what's going on. Suit him up because you don't have Kyrie Irving. You know damn well when Kyrie Irving gets back healthy, your team probably won't get worse because he's on the court. It'll probably just get better. It's just highly likely. Kyrie Irving is that type of player. You've never seen a team's production really go down with him, except for maybe when he went to Boston for those couple of years. But I mean, I don't even think their production really went down.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't really fit in with the system
No, he didn't.
they were trying to run.
Right.
And you know, I get it, but so I'd hold on to Fly. I mean, look at the team they got, man. And I get it. Maybe it doesn't come back next year. Maybe Kyrie Irving will get healthy for the playoffs, like next year. And if that team can get like a 3, 4, 5 seed or something, bro, that'll be a sick damn starting lineup without making any moves. You still got Daniel. You got Derek Lively probably gonna come off the bench. You got Anthony Davis. You got Cooper Flag. You got Klay Thompson. You got PJ Washington. Like that's a solid
Uh-huh.
team currently constructed. Why the hell trade anybody? You know?
Yeah.
Like I don't see any reason to trade anybody. You got everything you need. You know everything you need. You know, and definitely a very solid front court. And the back court. I mean, come on, bro. You got to be aware. You got a knockdown shooter in Klay Thompson. Um, you got a damn good on ball defender. In PJ Washington. I mean, you might want to think about what to do with him, but if PJ would be cool with coming off the bench or something, then it's straight. But even like the Dallas Mavericks, man, when you get Kyrie Irving back in the lineup, dude, you might want to think about bringing Cooper Flag off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine how nasty your team would be when you got this kid beating the hell out of second units every night. and that'll allow him to ease right into championship basketball, like championship level basketball, and it'll make your team a formidable, just pretty formidable. So don't be surprised if you might see some old school big three turn up in Miami. That's what I've been trying to tell people. I'm like, don't be surprised if you don't see Miami make a
Oh.
move to end up with Giannis and KD, and then LeBron James might force his way over there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
for real. Or LeBron James might even force his way back to Cleveland, which is likely where he should end his career any damn way.
Yeah, he should in his career. As a spy, I don't like him. He should end his career at Cleveland. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with that.
which he probably will. I mean, we all know he's gonna have a special statue outside Cleveland anyway. I always
Right.
tell people, I'm like, bro, everybody else got their own type of statue. Jordan's is still the illest. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the jump man statue. But LeBron James will probably just have his hands out and that shit'll squirt water like every hour or something. It'll be a fountain. It'll be a fountain statue. You know? you know. So
Right.
I get it. But that's where it'll be. So I don't see why not. And then send his bait, send his kid with him.
Yeah, he'll be. Yeah, his son will come with him in Cleveland.
So, but nah, I just believe, yeah, it's rigged. It has to be. I mean, why else would Nico just trade Luka Doncic to the damn Lakers, bro? You had to be promised something. I know the last time I saw a team trade a damn All NBA player to the Lakers, they got the number one pick too in New Orleans. Just saying.
Yeah.
Like coincidences, I don't know.
I don't know either, bro. I don't know.
And I'm just like, yo, since it's such a lottery, dog, why the hell can't we watch it happen? Why can't we watch it happen? Like percentages are pretty damn simple. If teams got this many percentages, I don't care if you need 1,000 of them damn ping pong balls, 2,000 of them. Y'all are a very very rich league. You put them into a tub big enough, where we can see exactly how many balls each team has. You put them in there, let it blow all around, whatever, right in front of us, and then let's see the balls come out. I don't see what's so hard.
Mhm.
Like if y'all wasn't rigging it, you would show it.
Right.
They'll just bring out some envelopes. Fuck, how the hell you gonna run the draft lottery like it's the Oscars? And the winner is that Rosie Perez shit. And the winner is open up an envelope. Get the hell up out of here, man.
Yeah, it's true.
For real. They running the draft lottery like it's the damn. Even when you play the lottery, what if they just told you, yeah, but we ain't gonna show y'all how we pick the numbers, but these are the numbers. No, they have the lottery drawing on television. You can actually see this.
Yeah.
They don't just tell you, but hey, you didn't win again. Try again next week.
Yeah, I know,
They
right?
don't show you what number. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, so how the hell, bro? If you telling me it's a lottery, dog, like a lottery's supposed to be so random that you shouldn't have a problem. Like, if you told me it was a selection committee to determine who gets the number one pick, then I can understand why you keep it behind closed doors.
Right.
Because that ain't none of our business. A committee decides, like the Oscars. Committee decides the winner. That's what I'm saying. You're doing a draft lottery like it's the Oscars or the ESPYs or some shit. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
So all I got to say with that, man. So yeah, that's rigged. It's rigged, and that's probably the bone that they had to toss. They had to toss that owner to not move the Mavericks to damn Las Vegas or whatever, or not hold the damn Mavericks hostage. Because he was, bro. I heard he was threatening. He's threatening like all of Texas with some shit. You know, when it come to like, he's like, yo, you better legalize gambling, like overall, so that way they can make their bread with their casino interests, or else we gonna move the damn team. Like we gonna take a whole NBA franchise from the state. You know, so that might have been just the NBA trying to keep one of them Texas franchises going.
Yeah. I mean, how many franchises? Texas got two, right?
Three.
It's Houston, Dallas,
San Antonio.
San Antonio, right?
Yeah.
It's three.
Oh, yeah,
San Antonio ain't going nowhere.
well, you know,
Oh,
California still got four of them. So
got four, yeah. Got four.
yeah, they still got four. So
Yeah, y'all could take. They could take one of them and put it in. Bring it to Las Vegas, or take one of them so they
bro,
could
Sacramento
be.
ain't giving up the Kings. They already tried to move the Kings a couple times. Sacramento is not trying to go anywhere. And Golden State they've already made the biggest move that they were gonna make, which is going from Oakland to San Francisco. You know, back to San Francisco.
Yeah,
So they won't move again. That's always been a huge market. That was a huge
yeah,
market when they were in Oakland.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like just the Bay Area is huge. You know, they were talking about you know, that's where the league wanted Yao Ming to go there. You know, they wanted Yao Ming in damn. They said Golden State, Houston, or New York. You know what I'm saying? They wanted him in one of those cities. They wanted him in a big market with a nice size Asian population.
Yep.
Yeah, Asian demographic population. They wanted that, so they made sure they got him there. That's what I mean. Draft lottery is, come on, you know. I mean, come. What? Derrick Rose was drafted by Chicago. LeBron James was drafted by Cleveland.
Cleveland, right? So convenient.
Huh, well, so
Patrick Ewing. No, I can't say Patrick drafted the Knicks. I
man,
can't say.
even Patrick Ewing admitted that lottery was rigged. LeBron James admitted the lottery was rigged when he was on Pat McAfee's show. He said, "Yeah, he said the NBA wanted me in Cleveland because he didn't want to be there. He wanted to be in just the NBA. He wanted to be in the NBA. He didn't want to just be in Cleveland. You know, he's like, I ain't even from Cleveland. I'm from Ohio. I ain't from Cleveland. You know, whatever. You know, the NBA made sure he had the number one pick. You know, so people are like, oh, well, so you're saying that every time a team has a number one pick? I'm like, no, when they're transcendent players like that, they make sure that them players go somewhere. They go a certain place, bro. You know, Derrick Rose was supposed to be transcendent. He ended up not being that because of injuries, but he was supposed to be a transcendent player.
Right. So
You
of
know,
course they're
and
gonna
he
make
didn't
sure
know
he
how
go
to
to
play right
Chicago.
till he took that damn injury.
Was the coach then, right?
Hmm?
You know, was the coach then and Thibodeau.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that ain't the coach's fault, dog. It was non-contact injury, so that happens.
No,
But
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he was the coach.
yeah,
Yeah, he was coach.
yeah, nah, he was the coach. So like I said, we need to, as far as the Knicks are concerned, we need to get out of this series healthy and as early as possible. So
Yeah, and rest
game
up, right?
5, that'll be good. Just move on to the next series. Try to stay healthy. Every extra game that you play and you playing against a team that is fighting for their life, you risking injury and losing. You know what I'm saying? You risking losing too. So just put these dudes to bed. They'll show the same grit and killer instinct that we showed in the second half last night, and we should be able to put them to bed because I think it's seeping in that they can't win. I think they're mentally they're hit. You know.
Yeah.
Now, granted, this is where stars are can also dig deep. You know, they don't always fold. A lot of times, this is where guys dig deep. So,
Yeah.
I personally don't think that this is the team. That's what I was saying. I don't think they have that Celtic pride. That's what Kendrick Perkins was saying when they like, yo, you don't like you wore a Celtics jersey. You don't get it. What makes you think this team can't do it? He just ain't say nothing. But we know what it is. These teams. I think I said this before. Yo, they wear Celtics jerseys, but they ain't no Boston Celtics, bro. Like for real, you know. And this is as a Knicks fan from the heart,
Mm-hmm.
for real. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's still a certain Celtic pride. Like you gotta like for real, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you got guys, you got a bunch of guys on a team together that most of those dudes are playing for themselves. Dudes that were drafted by the Celtics too. That's what's so bad. It's like you got homegrown dudes that is still either, you know, it's still kind of just me, I. And I'm not saying that they're selfish because they're not a selfish team, but I think it's just they're not one with the city. They're they're pretty boys, and that's not. We've never known the Boston Celtics to be like that. You know,
Right.
like that's what I'm saying. So, this is one of the reasons why this Knicks team is so easy for a lot of people to root for, um, rather than hate or whatever, because they embody New York City. Like these are guys that just show up and work.
Mm-hmm.
These are guys that just show up and work, man. Ain't a bunch of flash, ain't none of that. They love Jalen Brunson because finally we got a closer. We ain't had a closer in how long? I'll go as far as to say we have not had a closer since Latrell Sprewell.
Mm. That's 1999.
Yeah, in 2000. That's why they had that question today. Like, you know, Brunson is the best Nick since Carmelo. I'm like, Carmelo wasn't a good Nick. Like, what? Carmelo never even made the conference finals. Damn sure wasn't in a situation like this. Up 3-1 to go to the conference finals. You know, he wasn't ever in there. So, you know, Melo was not that great of in a Knicks jersey. So, no disrespect, but they said, okay, so you got Willis Reed, you got Walt Frazier, those are your top two, and then you would have Patrick Ewing, that's the next guy, and then if you had to have a fourth on a Mount Rushmore, it kind of goes to like Bernard King, Bernard King, Earl Monroe, um, Carmelo, and I'm like, yo, first of all, Carmelo Anthony should never even be mentioned in the same sentence as Earl Monroe and Dan Bernard King. Okay. And Earl Monroe is before my time. Okay. Um, and I wasn't really old enough to watch Bernard King in his prime, but I'd seen enough footage
I
and
did.
heard the legends
Oh, yo.
where I grew up. You know, the street ball legend stories. So and I seen enough footage. So now Carmelo Anthony is not on the level of Earl Monroe or Bernard King ever. Not even as a Nick. Like we know overall, no, but as a Nick, definitely no. So but I wouldn't even, I like Jalen Brunson, but you can't even put him in that category yet. You know? No disrespect to Jalen Brunson, not yet, but give us a couple more years. Give us a decent tenure. Give us a decent tenure. Make it so that your personality, your demeanor, all of that stuff, your face is synonymous with the New York Knicks. It's
Yeah.
getting to that point. It's getting to that point, but we need to get there where you don't have to be the face of the league, but be the identity of our team.
Yeah.
You know,
I believe he's on his way. This go take a little time.
because that was the problem with Carmelo. As good of a player as Carmelo was, Carmelo never gave any team an identity. Like, okay, this is how we're gonna play. This is what we're gonna do. You know the game's gonna be muddy. You know the game's gonna be physical. You know the game's gonna be high scoring. You know the game's gonna be grinded out. Now, like there was no identity. You know, there was no identity. It's just him going out there being Carmelo, and he's good as long as he scores 30. And that's what I mean. He brought that mentality to New York, and I'm the guys that brought that mentality to New York. I can care less about them. When you didn't give a damn if we won or lost, as long as you scored 30, nah, we got issues, bro. We got issues. So that's why guys like Josh Hart are respected in New York. You know, guys like Charles Oakley, even though I know he's banned, he's still respected out there. You know, certain guys are just respected. Like we don't care how many points you score. Just go out there and play hard. Just go out
Mm-hmm.
there, play hard, leave it all out there, and approach this like what it is. It's a job. Go out there and do what you do. You know, them fair weather Knicks fans, they need to stay the hell up out of Madison Square Garden. At least for now. I'm like, if y'all are so damn rich, get some skyboxes. Get some skyboxes and all y'all sit your asses up there. If you want to cheer for the other damn team. You know, but don't come in here wearing Knicks blue and orange and then you cheering for the damn Celtics at the end of the night. That's the problem.
Yeah, yeah, that's the
Damn,
big
I don't
problem,
care
right?
if Celtics fans want to buy a ticket. I know Knicks fans buy tickets all over the damn place because I'm one of them. You know, I'm one of them,
Right.
bro. I will drive to Orlando. You know what I'm saying? I will drive to Atlanta or whatever if there's a game or some shit because I know it's less expensive than having to see the shit in the garden. You know what I'm saying? I will go to Miami. You know what I'm saying? If it's a drive away or a short flight or something, I've taken it. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? For a playoff game or whatever. Um, it's still less expensive than going to New York. You know? So I've had to do that to see. I'm a Knicks fan in Florida, so I got to do that. I pay for the league pass just so I can watch my boys, play.
Mm.
Um, but I'm just saying, Knicks fans don't cheer for the other team. I don't give a damn, bro, because that's the problem. Jordan come in Madison Square Garden, drop 55, y'all cheering. Somebody said that to me back in the day. I remember I was actually playing in a pool tournament, right? And this dude, it was another black dude, right? He came in and he played and of course this is a semi-professional pool tournament, so it's not one of them bar this is a semi-professional pool tournament that they would hold it at different, it was a tour, so they hold it at different venues once a month or whatever, all over the state. Either way, there's another black dude, and of course there's not going to be many black dudes in there, you know what I'm saying? So it was probably me, him, and maybe about three more other black dudes. Either way, I can remember the guy played really good. Like he played a lot better than I did. So he was doing his thing. He was going a little further in the tournament than I did. So, well, a lot further actually. And you know, he came up to me in between games and he's like, "Why ain't you, how come you're not playing like you normally do?" Because you know what I'm saying, we played before elsewhere. I'm not gonna go too deep into the story, but the dude said to me straight up, he said, "You know what you got?" He said, "You got John Stark syndrome." This ain't even no New York dude. He just see I'm always wearing my New York hat, so he knew I was a New
Mm-hmm.
York fan. He said, "You got John Stark syndrome." I'm like, "What you talking about?" And he's like, "Man, remember back in the day in the '90s? Because you're a Knicks fan." He's like, "Remember when John Starks would be playing against the Bulls, and before the game, he'd be shaking hands with Michael and taking pictures and smiling?" Yeah, yeah. That's the problem. He trying to be buddy buddy with the opponent when the opponent wants to rip his damn heart out. And he told me, he said, "Man, that's your problem. Eh? You, you, what you trying to be friends with these motherfuckers?" Pardon my French, bro. But that's what he said. He
Mm-hmm.
said to me, just like, "What you trying to be friends with? Bust their ass." He was like, "You come here to win, or you come to be friends with all the good players? To the hell with them. None of them are good. None of
Mm-hmm.
them are good when you decide to play." You know, and I'm not gonna lie. So that made me, pick up a couple of books and check my mentality at the door because it was right. As a Knicks fan, I remember that. I'm like, yo, we used to get on Johnston about that shit, man, for real. You know, you want to fight Reggie, but you Michael's homie.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Not between them damn lines. You know, for real.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. You got a lot of guys in that league that have that John Stark syndrome. You know, you have a lot of Knicks that have had it. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I wasn't too fond of LeBron James pretty much taking over the Olympic team because that's another reason why you saw Jason Tatum, come out this year like he did. Same with Anthony Edwards. And I like the way Ant-Man is playing and all of that. But you saw a few of them dudes come out all just a little softer, bro. A little less killer in them. Just a little less. That's what happens when these people play, spend a little too much time around LeBron James. They end up on banana boats and shit. Feel me?
Yeah.
They end up on banana boats. And they turn into damn spot up shooters for no damn reason. You know? Nah, man.
Yeah. Well, let me get up out here. I'm ready to get me some food and stuff. But thanks for coming up in. I'm saying if the Knicks win tomorrow night, I will be back.
You said when the Knicks win, right? You didn't say
I mean,
if.
I'm
You said
sorry.
when.
I'm sorry. When the Knicks win, I will be back.
Nah, that's what's up. Now, when the Knicks win, no doubt.
When the Knicks win, I'll be back. Now, I'm letting you know right now. If anybody come up talking about the injury, they're getting thrown out.
Bro, vamos. Hey, prayers for Tatum. I see that. Prayers for Tatum. I don't want to see anybody take an injury, but let's not talk like the Celtics wasn't already beat. I'm going to keep saying it. They was already beat when he got hurt.
Right.
It was already beat. They were going down 3-1, whether he walks off that court or gets carried off that court. Doesn't matter. It was 3-1 after that game was over. I think we all know it. You know? But prayers for him. I hope he makes a speedy recovery. It did
Yeah,
look
that's it.
Achilles tear, so that's 9 months minimum.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. The Celtics had some soul searching to do anyway, because I'm pretty sure they're not paying out that it's some sick luxury tax money they're gonna have to kick out. So I didn't see them doing it. Especially if they didn't win a ring. If they did win a ring, they were likely going to get rid of some bodies. So, and it's understandable when they brought on Porzingis and Drew Holiday, they knew that those were 2-year projects, right there. And this is the second year of each of them. You know what I'm saying? Because they just knew that. So it kind of is what it is. Horford, how long is he gonna play? You gonna suit him up at age 45?
Mm-hmm.
They're probably going to lose all 3 of those guys next year. And at some point, they knew they were going to have to choose between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Right?
And
This
it,
is the same thing the Warriors had to go through. Like, this is what happens when this is the price of winning. Guys that you got under rookie contracts, eventually you got to pay them when they start making all NBA teams and they've been here forever and they start qualifying for veterans minimums and all of that. And you want to keep the team a champion and keep them winning and make sure the team stays deep enough so that way you don't end up with all these damn injuries and everything
mm-hmm.
else. Yo, you end up hitting that second apron, and next thing
Mm-hmm.
you know, you got $800 million on the payroll like the Celtics do. So, especially without a title, there will be a haircut. Like, I'm saying, like, for real, there just will be. And I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, those teams, if they're winning championships, they'll break even. They'll break even. They'll take a small profit. But under no circumstances do any of those teams want to take a loss. They don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Under no circumstances, bro.
Yeah.
And that's just what's going to happen. So shout out to the Celtics for having a farm system like they have. And I know you got to go, but you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them for just being able to draft, a certain amount of
Well,
guys.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Develop their guys, work with their guys, all of that, being able to acquire free agents, the front office for being able to make the deals that bring over Porzingis, bringing Horford back, because I think Horford ended up having to leave there, go to Philly, and then they got Horford, what I'm saying, back. Eventually, whoever the hell brought on guys like Cornette, you brought in Pritchard, Peyton Pritchard. This is after I thought they were done. I thought that was the biggest mistake that they could have made a couple years ago when they got rid of Marcus Smart. I'm like, damn, bro, you get rid of your damn defensive anchor like that, Marcus Smart. But bro, they were able to recover and win a championship, without him. So, I mean, shout out to them for doing that. But this is the way the cookie crumbles, yo.
Yep.
This is
All right, man. So when the Knicks
I watched the
win,
Chicago Bulls win 6 titles in 8 years, and then them. Hey, watched Jerry Krause say, "I don't give a damn if he goes 82-0 and wins the title. Phil Jackson ain't coming back next year. The coach is fired." And Jordan says, "I'm not playing for another coach." And Jerry Krause says, "I don't give a damn." Then you can get the hell out too, because you cost us $40 million a year any damn way. I watched them blow up a dynasty. Like, we watched it. Just blow it up. They just blew it up. For no reason.
yep. Well,
No reason.
time to eat now.
Other
When
than
the
they didn't want to have to pay 2 guys. They remember, now paying 2 guys 40-something million a year is normal. But y'all do understand that Jordan, before we go into this, Jordan, the way Jordan was doing the Bulls was disgusting, because he was signing 1-year deals for 30. First it was 30 million. And then when they just said, okay, then the next year he's like, then give me 40. Hey, and they're like, okay. And he's like, okay. Then the next year he's like, well, all right, so you can give me 40 again, but give Scotty 30. Give Scotty 30. Just a 1-year deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was pretty much doing them dirty. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? Where he was just like, whatever. Now it's normal. Jordan was getting 40 million per season in the 90s because he could.
Mm.
So, just like, the player empowerment, all of that stuff, that you want to credit Jordan for the reason why these guys can make all of this money. That's another reason, though, why a lot of these owners are empowered. They're like, nah, bro, you want that amount of money, you have to sign a 4 to 5 year deal. Like, there is no 3-year deal. You know what I'm saying? And you have to do it with the team that drafted you. You know what I'm saying? If you want the 5th year, like, you can't they're not just going to give you 1 year for 50 million anymore.
yeah.
I think that might be against the rules.
Yes. Make it last from us, brother.
CBA is crazy, bro. It's crazy. But I've been telling a lot of folks, this was going to empower the owners. It was going to empower the owners when they change things. It was going to empower the owners. Even when they have things in there saying these guys have to play X amount of games to qualify for the for max contracts and super maxes and all NBA teams, and without making all NBA teams, they don't get super maxes. Like, I'm not even fond of those rules. I'm like, because these players don't have any say so in how many games they play. Let's just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? When the trainers and staff tell them to sit out, they got to sit out. So it's not up to them how many games they play. So to punish somebody for, you know what I'm saying, to take 15-20 million dollars away from somebody because they only played 63 games instead of 65, which they would have been, like what they did with Ja Morant when they were able to suspend him and he didn't play enough games because of the suspension to qualify for all NBA, which cost him like 60 million or something on his damn extension, something stupid like that. And I was like, yeah, he's stupid, but that's pretty dumb, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just decided to not allow him to be able to play enough games to qualify. Like, and you still have him on your roster. So that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Like y'all can just do things that enable y'all to not have to pay these people, tens of millions of dollars that you would owe them otherwise. Like,
That's true.
And I only say that because you got the rules in the CBA saying if they qualify for this amount of all NBAs and they win an NBA, you know what I'm saying, they do all of that, then you, like with Luka, you have to pay him a super max. So I can understand how Nico and Rob Pelinka can collude on that, because it's like, bro, we don't want to pay Luka $345 million. And the Lakers like, neither the hell do we. So, well, all they had to do was trade him, and he ain't eligible for it no more. That was the thing. So they were able to clear that big max contract coming up off of their thing, whatever deal to get a number one pick, bring in AD, who's probably going to expire, and get Luka over there for a discount. Because I don't even think the Lakers can give him the 5th year.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, under the CBA, they can't even give him the 5th year. Because remember, because Luka didn't take the extension, which he would have been a fool to take it, in Dallas, he would have been a fool to take it. Because of that, the Lakers don't have the bird rights. The bird rights expire.
Yeah.
So, like I say, it's just slimy the way they did him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
You got conspired against, and they cost you $70 million. You know what I'm saying? That's messed up.
It is. Yeah, I gotta go, bro. Because I'm hungry. I gotta go.
All right, bro. Salute.
But like I said, when the Knicks win, I'll be back.
All right. Peace.
All right, peace.